Hello viewers, about 2500 years ago, this place was one of the most important places in ancient world. The people who were lived there, they were writers, actors, warriors, and most importantly, they were politicians. Yes, you guessed right, I was talking about ancient Greece. Greek called themselves Hellenes and their land was Hella. However, ancient Roman named them Greek later on. In this video, we're going to explore the ancient Greek civilization and its history. Let's investigate the ancient Greek civilization and downfall of the empire in this video. To better understand the history of the Greeks, we will explore their history by dividing into the periods. Starting from the Bronze Age, the history of the Greeks divided into four periods: the Mycenaean period, the Archaic period, the Classical period, and the Hellenistic period. During the Bronze Age, around 3200 and 1100 BCE, several cultures flourished on the island of the Cyclades, in the Crete and the Green mainland. They were mainly farmers, but trade across the sea, practically in raw materials such as obsidian, volcanic glasses, and metals, was growing. Mycenaean culture flourished on the Greek mainland in the late Bronze Age. It's about 1600 and 1100 BCE. The name comes from the site of the Mycenae where the culture first recognized after the excavation in 1876. The Mycenaean period of the later Greek Bronze Age was viewed by the Greek as the age of the heroes, and perhaps provides a historical background to many of the stories told in later Greek mythology, including Homer's epic. Objects and artwork from this time are found throughout mainland Greece and the Greek island. Distinctive Mycenaean pottery was distributed widely across the eastern Mediterranean. This showed the beginning of the Greek mythology being used to decorate work of art. They come from about the same time that the Epic of Homer were reaching their form in which we inherit them as the earliest Greek literature. When the Bronze Age came to the end, the Mycenaeans gained the power. They crossed the Mediterranean to capture them Troy, a major city on the west coast of the present-day Turkey. The Trojan War reached from the 10 years according to Homer, until one day the Greek on the shoreline disappeared. All that remained was large wooden horse. Despite the wise counsel to leave it, the Trojans drove their horse to be a spoil of the war, so they brought the horse into the city. In the night the Greeks hidden within the horse crept out and opened the gates of Troy to the waiting comrades, aiding the Trojan war and bloody brutal sack of the city. Also, the historians have been trying for centuries to determine the actual historical event that inspired these stories. The truth continues to elude. Nevertheless, it's true these myths and others that later Greeks used from the classical period saw the past and themselves contributing the part to ancient Greece's rise to power. The exact reason for the war remained with the legend, the told most famous epic poems by Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey with Virgil, and the end. However, the truth of the often continue within mythical narratives. Epic poems remain important resources both for their discriminating historical knowledge of the era and as study great Greek literature. The collapse of the Mycenaean civilization around 1100 BCE brought about the period of isolation known as the Dark Age, but by around 800 BCE, the revival had begun as the trade with the wider world increased. Arts, crafts, and writing emerged as the city-states developed. The archaic periods in ancient Greece, spanning roughly from the 8th century BCE to early 5th century BCE, was a transformative market era significant for political, cultural, and social development. The archaic period saw the rise of the policy or city-state as a central political unit. The city-state, including Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and the Thebes, emerged independent entities with their own governments, law, and identities. Greeks embarked on the intensive colonization effort during this period, establishing colonies across the Mediterranean and Black Sea region. These colonies facilitated trade, spread the Greek culture, contributed to the growth of the Greek economy. Early in the archaic period, the many city-states were ruled by the aristocratic elites. However, over time, political system evolved, leading to the establishment of more democratic form of government in some city-states, most notably in Athens. The archaic period with its significant advancement in art, literature, and philosophy. This era saw the emergence of the epic poetry, exemplified by the work of Homer, as well as the development of the Greek alphabet, which revolutionized communication and record-keeping religious practices. Greek religion played a central role in the archaic society, with rituals, festivals, and orderlies shaping both individual and commercial life. Religious practices: Greek religion played a central role in archaic society, with rituals, festivals, and orderlies shaping both individual and communal life. The rise of city-state also led to the establishment of the cult dedicated to specific god and goddess, further solidified religious identity. Military tactics and strategies evolved during the archaic period, practically in the city-state like Sparta, where the militaristic society emerged. The hoplite phalanx or formation of heavily armed infantry became a dominant force on the battlefield. Classical period around the 500 BCE, ruled by the people or democracy, had emerged in the city of the Athens. Following the defeat of the Persian invasion in 480 and 479 BCE, mainland Greece and Athens practically into the Golden Age. In drama and philosophy, literature, art, and architecture, Athens was second to none. The city empire stretched from the western Mediterranean to Black Sea, creating the enormous world. This paid for one of the biggest public building projects ever seen in Greece, which included the Parthenon. Ancient Greece also played a vital role in the early history of coinage, as well as making some of the world's earliest coins. The ancient Greeks were the first to use the Asian extensively in trade. Hellenistic period following the death of the Alexander and the division of his empire. So the Greek power and culture extended across the Middle East and as far as the Indus Valley. When Roman observed the Greek world into the West Empire, Greek ideas, art, and culture greatly influenced by the Romans. Alexander was always showing in clean shaven, which was an innovation. All the previous portraits of the Greek statesmen rulers had beards. This royal fashion lasted for almost 500 years, and almost all of the Hellenistic kings and Roman emperors until Hadrian were portrayed beardless. Coming to my personal analysis, I believe that the severe downfall of ancient Greece happened because of the Dark Age, archaic period, and battle between the Sparta and Athens. After the end of the Mycenaean Age, nobody knew much about the happened. All later language, art, and disappeared. Therefore, it called it Dark Age. Later on, after 300 years of Dark Age, archaic period began, and the Greeks had to fight with the Persian army several times. The most important period of the ancient Greece was Athens-Sparta battles, also known as the Peloponnesian War, which lasted 20 years. Sparta became the most powerful region in the Greece after the war. The fact that many have led to the downfall of the Greece. However, there were also periods such as the Classical Age or the Hellenistic period. In conclusion, many civilizations as regions inspired and took much from the Greek people. Even after 3,000 years, we still use ancient Greek ideas in math, art, and science. That's all from my side for today. See you in my next video.